Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado, and this is my buddy Puccini who helps me in the craft room. And today I have the final card for you of the Secret Garden that I'm planning on doing. I have made 3 cards from this suite, and if you've not watched the other 2, this is a suite that was from some close to my heart material that Stampin' Up! Put out, and it's a particularly good bargain because the suite, it's called a card workshop, close to my heart, Secret Garden Card Workshop. And it is absolutely stunningly beautiful paper. So what you get with the kit is a stamp set, a die set, some designer series kind of paper, some primary papers with beautiful florals, some secondary papers, some embellishments, and 10 cards and 10 envelopes for $40. I think it's a screaming deal. And so I decided to do several cards to sort of showcase this while it lasts. It's on the website, and if you just put in Secret Garden, all of the versions of it will come up. And so this is the third and final one that I'm doing from that suite. It's just gorgeous paper. And so we'll just get started, and then I'll be back later this week with my paper pumpkin alternatives. So let's just get started. Okay, here is the card that we're going to do, and this paper came in yellow tones and florals like this, and blue. This is the one I did last week, which is done this way. And then this week I'm doing one that is one of the suggested, that was another thing that was in the kit. There's a multi-page instruction kit, and the kit is meant to make 18 cards, 2 each of 9 different designs, as I recall. And it gives you the instructions on how to cut the paper to get the designs that they give you. And you know me, I go off the radar and do my own designs anyway. But I thought it would be kind of fun to do one that was similar to the one that they did and use a stamp from the stamp set. So this is the one that I came up with, and it's very similar to one that they did. Not exactly the same, but I have a hard time doing that. Okay, so what we need to make this card is I used a piece of Basic White, or you can use their Willow White, which is nice cardstock, I might add. And this is 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then this piece is, this is the sad part of this. This is the pink that I'm going to use, and it's this beautiful yellow paper that I made my first one out of that's on the back side of it, so you're limited to what your uses are. But this piece is 5.5 by 2 1/4. 5.5 by 2 1/4. And I got started here and got ahead of myself, and this one's already got some adhesive on it. And we're just going to put that looks upside down to me. I'm going to put this on the front of the card right here at the top. And I'm not going to push down very hard on this because I want to put some other embellishment on there. And this time, this is the lighter green on this one, and this is the darker green. And I thought it would be kind of fun to use the darker green so that it's not exactly the same. And this we're going to put on here. This is 5.5 by 1 1/2. And this pink is 5.5 by 1 1/2. And it has that same pattern on the back. But on this side, it has the polka dots, so I thought we could use that. Now, one of the things I did on this card is put this, it's like linen thread, And this is Baker's Twine, a 3-color pack, and I'm pretty sure this is Flirty Flamingo. And it's a little bit darker than this, but I thought it was kind of complementary. So I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to do that by putting a little bit of adhesive on the back side of this, and I'm going to draw. I did 2 strands on that one, and I think I'm going to do 3 strands on this piece. So I'm just going to cut off 3 strands of this Baker's Twine. Yeah. And this this Baker's Twine comes in a 3-pack, like I showed you, and it's got a yellow, which looks like lemon lolly, and a blue, which I'm not sure what color it is. If I figure it out, I'll put it on the screen for you. So we're going to put this on this side, and I thought I would put some of this Baker's Twine here, and I thought I would use the 3 strands, and I'm going to just pull that across here and get them so that they're kind of sitting next to one another rather than crossing over. And there I've got it put down, and then I'm going to snip off my tails here and add some more snail across the top of this, and I did put some snail on that piece, and I'm going to lay this piece down right across here. There we go. And so there's our little piece of texture. Now then, this final piece, all of a sudden that doesn't look very straight to me. I think it needs to come up just a hair. There we go. All right. Now this piece is also, well, it's supposed to be 5.5, but it doesn't look like it's got cut that way. I'm going to cut an additional piece. So I need this piece to be 5.5, and I'm going to put it on here so you can see what it is I'm doing. And I'm going to set this up at 5.5 on my trimmer and cut that down, and then I'm going to make this piece 1.5. So I'm going to put that at the 1.5 mark here and cut that piece. So there we have our piece that we need. So this piece is going to go on, and the difference between this and the other cards that I made is I'm cutting these pieces so they cover the entire front of the card. I kind of like that look. So I'm going to add some snail to this, and I'm going to put the polka dot side out front on this one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is set this up so this comes right along the bottom and covers the whole front of the card like the other pieces do, and put this into place there. Isn't that pretty? And do that. Now, in addition to that, these pieces, the inside of the card is very simple. I cut this piece, which is 4 by 5.25, and I think that I'll use this side on the inside, and then I cut this piece of white, and this piece of white is 4.5 by 3.25, and what I'm going to do is put that centered on this piece, and then put this in place so that we have a nice wide margin and we can enjoy that pretty paper that's on the back side of that. All right, now this piece is going to go on the inside of the card with a small border around the outside. So we can go ahead and just put that. Now you can certainly turn that around and have it match the outside of the card by putting the polka dots where they're showing. But I kind of like the idea of using the contrasting patterns that are in this. Okay, there we go. And that is the major part of the inside of the card. And let's see here. Then I have also, out of some of that pattern paper, cut a few pieces out. So I had this beautiful flower to go on the front, and then I cut a couple of additional pieces, some leaves and some of these single buds that are in this paper. And I thought I could take one of these flowers and kind of tuck it right in here to give us the full look of that flower there. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of snail on the back there and tuck this flower right in here. There we go. Then I'm going to take a couple of dimensionals and I'm going to raise this flower. There we go. And just set this flower right along in here. There we go. Keep my little strings straight here and put the flower down so some of those dimensionals kind of hold on to that. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Now, what I did for the sentiment is I cut a strip that was 1 inch wide. I think that's right. This is a little bit over, but that's fine. It's about an inch. In fact, maybe I'll just trim that off a little bit. And that's more like an inch. So an inch by some length, because we're going to trim this off and flag that part of the sentiment. Okay, then I got my Stamparatus, and any positioning tool will do. I've gotten this one, and I used from the stamp set that comes with this, and here is the stamp set, and I'm using this smile piece here. It's got "It's a Beautiful Life," love, happy, 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 and memories down there. So that's what the stamp set looks like, and has those beautiful flowers in it. So I'm going to take this piece and put it in my positioning tool here. And I'm just going to hold it down with a magnet. And I've got my smile stamp there. And I've got some black ink. I've used Old Olive, and I've used Smoky Slate and black. And this time I'm going to use the black. And so I'm going to set this so that it's kind of right in the middle of that. Since I trimmed it down, it's not set up exactly right. But let's see if I can't get it in there the right way. I think that is about right. And just set yours up so that it works for you. Okay. So there's my smile. And I've got one of these little puck things. See if I can't get a good image across there. Boy, that's being stubborn. Stand if I see if I can get it. There we go. That's a little bit better, and I think I want to ink it up one more time. just to get a good crisp image. And there we've got it nicely done. And I like that image. Now we'll take that out of the positioning tool, and I'm going to snip this end, and I'm going to give us a little bit more on this end than I gave us on the other end, so that I can flag this end and have it come out the way I'd like. Okay, so I'm going to come across and cut out that little wedge. There we go. And there we've got a nice flagged tag that says smile. And I'm going to slide that under this flower and put that right in here. I'm not going to raise it on dimensionals because the flowers are enough raised, I think. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of my sentiment here and put that into place. Right in here, centered on the pink and slightly away from the edge on this side. Get that down there so that it's straight and put it into place. Okay, there we go. All right. Now then, I have these pieces left, and I'm going to add those to the inside of the card. And I have a couple of leaves here, and I've got a little spray of little flowers that you see on the front of the card, and I thought I would put some of those in place here with a leaf behind it. And then I've got some of these other leaves here as well. And maybe something like that that kind of decorates this corner. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is put some adhesive on the back of this flower, since this is going to be the primary piece. And you know, I think I'm going to cut that stem off. I don't think I like the way that looks. And then I'm going to attach this little sprig of flowers right up there. Then this leaf right behind that. Right in there like that. And then these remaining leaves I want to put down here on the bottom like there, and maybe right in here like that. I think that's going to look real nice. And this paper's got plenty of places to cut leaves and sprigs and all different kinds of things. There's this little flower, that little spray, and a couple of these various leaves that I'm putting into place here. And that, I'm going to add some adhesive across the back of that, and then put that whole piece right down here on the inside of my card. And there we go. We have our card. It looks like I need to trim a tiny little bit off of some of these pieces here. There we go. All right. And so there's the card so far, and here's my sample card. So the only thing I have left to do is to put some rhinestones on this card. And I've got some rhinestones right here. And now on my pick tool, take a pick tool, I got the accessory pack with the other tips on this. And there's a cutting blade. There's this much longer tip, which is very much like the old pick tool that we used to have. And it's not short and fat like the one that came with us. And I just love how long it is and how skinny it is. And then there's also a tool that perforates, a wheel that perforates. Well, let me just show you. So there's this long tool. This one is Take Your Pick Crafter's Tips is what it's called. And so there's this blade for cutting that's in there. And then this tip here with a rotary piece that perforates. The whole thing was worth it just to get this tip, I think. I love those tips. Okay, so I'm going to put a great big rhinestone on our sentiment piece here, and I'm going to put a medium one, right in here, and another one in here. Maybe I'll put 5 on this. I've got this size too. We can put one right over here, and one more, just because I like odd numbers. There we go. So there is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And this is the last of my close to my heart secret garden cards. But I just think it's such a pretty suite, and I think it's quite economical at $40. So that's it for me. Again, thanks for stopping by, and hope you're getting lots of goodies from Sale-a-bration, which will go on until the 28th of February, so we still have a month. And I will be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!